So it's more than the collection. I think it's a celebration of the two brands' journey, a journey that has been based on I think pillars of endurance. I would say a bit of structure and modernity, and I think both brands resonate similar aesthetics. So there is a legacy that obviously the brands bring together, and what is the future roadmap from a design perspective? How do we reach out to this beautiful world of two contrasts, what we call India? And I think this is a celebration of that tonight.
Well, clearly Shantanu and Nikhil as a brand is always focused on drape with structure, and today you will see parts of it in the clothing. We've got gowns and lehengas as well, right? And they are all stemming from that core ethos of the brand philosophy, which again stems from drape and gets into structure. There is a sense of nostalgia as well when it comes to textures and techniques, and something that we believe is that sort of anti-trend, which is our take on India and our take on Indian ethos and textures and embroideries. So it's subtle yet strong, it's quiet yet dramatic, it's sporty and yet nostalgic. Reaching 40 years of age, it's the same kind of feeling. You're unsure. What's the next 20 years going to be like?
We didn't basically rehearse, or we did not plan this when we launched our brand in 2000. So 2020 actually becomes a
Starting point?
20 years of Shantanu and Nikhil. So it's 2020, and then it will be a Shantanu and Nikhil 2.0. So there's a lot of things that you can look forward to, and we are looking forward to quite a few exciting and interesting things that are coming our way.
Yeah, this year is going to be, I think, not just a celebration of 20 years, but it's also the celebration of what 20 years has done for us. And in return, what is that we're going to do for the brand. So, exciting year ahead. Again, like every design brand has its own ethos. We always go back to the sense of nostalgia through palettes which are dusty roses, light peaches, and a lot to do with the emotional part of the skin color. So we'll continue doing that, and that we feel with our techniques, which are more tone on tone, and there's a subtle nuance of embroideries, is going to be really the base for every bride, and then built it up with certain embroideries which are unique to us, because we use a lot of interesting materials to make our embroideries. It's not typically traditional. So I feel the anti-trend philosophy is something that our brides feel very sure of, and they're very confident in it. And that is definitely a trend for us this season. When you look at the cocktail, just the idea of cocktail, it's one of the only functions which is where the bride and the groom are mostly looking forward to, because that's their one event when all the friends are together. There's a massive celebration. So we've kept our color palettes more in the emeralds and the navies and deep cherries. The palette that resonates with nostalgia, but also very, very powerful as a color, and especially on the Indian skin tone. So this is where our drapes come in, this is where fluidity comes in, this great sense of freedom and a lot of independence as well. As far as the design resolution is concerned, Shantanu and I have been talking quite deeply in the past 1.5 months about what we're going to be doing in the future. And one of the key things that have come out is that unexpected within the base of something that we can consistently do, that's going to be a really important aspect of design. Structure, clean lines, better fit, stronger drapes, and more intuitive. I think it's an initiative that can be amazing for India. The amount of usage of, sometimes unnecessary usage of garments and product that people buy. We've actually gone back into the stock room and reinventing the wheel with what we have, as opposed to reproducing or overproducing. I think we're doing a bit from that.
Also, I think as couturiers, we're not obviously fast fashion, right? It's more personalized, so we are not constantly making collections that hit the rack. So as a couture brand, we are almost immediately or instantly stating the fact that there are clothes, but there are not so many of them. We take orders, and then we've also now started to get into a recycling process where some of our nostalgia or some of our archival pieces can now sort of start to be reshaped and reinvented. So that is one thing that we're going to start bringing to the table. But other than that, couture was always sustainable in its own way, not literally. Literally, obviously, sustainable has been taken or viewed as using certain organic fabrics and not wasting enough resources around it. But for us in couture, it's going to be more about remodeling and reinventing some of the past pieces which we feel can take a newer shape.
Oh, it's a hard one, but I think for us, the stars that really changed our lives are Amitabh Bachchan. When we did KBC with him in 2004, and thereafter, we've set the standard so high that now every experience is really we look forward to it. Every experience post Mr. Bachchan.
Actually, more than stars, sometimes you feel that sports stars have also added a lot of dimension to where we are. So you look at the cricketers that we dressed up, or even for that matter, some of the iconic tennis players. I think they've all added something new to our portfolio. So it's been a very fruitful, fulfilling, but a challenging journey, and still a lot more to come.
Right.
This collection was a complete departure from what we've done in the past, and it came at a really good time for us. We brought in some color into the Shantanu and Nikhil palette by using a certain new kind of pink, yellows, greens, blues, and all of them are slightly off the brighter and the slightly higher than the brighter color palette. We also introduced a lot of new techniques and embroideries into the Rajkumari, but more than that, I think emotionally Rajkumari was the communion of both Raj and Kumari, and therefore we kept it as gender fluid as we could, because that's one space that we really belong to quite well, and we feel very proud of that space.
So equality in textures, equality in shapes, silhouettes, in couture is what defined Rajkumari for us. We were already sort of dabbling with this whole masculine meet feminine in our previous collections in a more sartorial scheme of things, but we sort of just married that sartorial and brought about a subtle shift in our couture, and Rajkumari became the starting of the inflection point, and you continue to see couture being more egalitarian, where certain textures will be more his and hers in the future.
I think today fashion is becoming more democratic than ever before. You know, you can see new collections on social media instantly. My only recommendation is when you see something beautiful and then you relate to it, please don't get overpowered. Don't completely belong to it. Still find your own space within design. And I think use social media to give yourself an opportunity, a tap on your back that you found your own space in it.